All right. Good evening, traders. Today is May 7th, 2024. This is a free room webinar brought to you by BYOB All right. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. My email address, I haven't put it out there yet, and I don't have the slide for it. But if you want it, and you can email me at any time, is john@BYOBtrading.com. Pretty simple. All right. So I have a YouTube channel that's also just Google BYOBtrading.com. I'll put it in there later. And a Facebook. Here, I'll put that out there right now. I got a Facebook group. All right. So here's my Facebook group, BYOBtrading.com Trading Club. And there's the group number, and I'll copy and paste that in the chat. Thanks, Ed. And there's the Facebook group, and I've got let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, I got the YouTube channel, and we'll get that up. And here's the YouTube right here.
All right, today is June 29th, 2023. We're at the market open.
Hey, Sonny.
We've got two 10-minute candles. We got one 10-minute candle.
All right, so there's the
and
YouTube.
a half a 10-minute candle here.
Feel
It's
free to
9:44,
subscribe, hit the bell.
Basically 9:45.
You get notified whenever I have
We've got
some new videos. I'm also on Rumble. Account overview of my content right here. Doesn't seem to show up, but anyways, you find me on YouTube. That's a much better one. And you can find me right here at the BYOB Trading Club right here. And I post a morning video and an evening video, kind of identifying what I see in the market and what's going on. And I send it out to the members every day, one in the morning, one in the evening. And let's see what else we got here. We'll take this down. And let's go through the disclaimer, all right? Trading involves risk, whether you're trading options, stocks, ETFs, ETNs, bonds, currency pairs, commodities. Doesn't matter what you're trading. Everything involves risk, all right? You got to do your own due diligence. Anything we say, you need to do your own research and make sure it works for you before you implement it, all right? So, again, you're responsible for your own trading. All right, I'm just sharing with you what I do. All right. Yeah, I'm everywhere. That's right, Sonny. Yeah. So tonight's webinar is on cannabis or marijuana, MJ, Mary Jane, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So the Biden administration. I'm going to take this off for a second. And we'll just roll it up here, okay? They're going to reschedule marijuana. Currently, it's classified in the same category as LSD, heroin, and methamphetamines, all right? It's in the same category there, all right? They're going to reschedule it, and it's going to be paired next to Tylenol, with codeine, steroids, testosterone. All right. So what that means is it's going to be less. How am I going to say this? It's going to be easier for distribution and the legal means of moving the product around the country because certain states have freedoms, but the Fed does not like it transported across state lines and into other states that are not, as cannabis friendly. All right. So the DEA formally, once the DEA formally makes its announcement, the marijuana industry is going to see an immediate benefit, and that benefit comes in the form of the IRS tax code, all right? And what it comes down to is there's certain expenses because they are now going to be legal to sell cannabis, they can deduct certain expenses such as ordinary business expenses such as shipping, transporting, growing, all of that stuff. All the fertilizer that goes into producing the cannabis will now be deductible. There's a lot of stuff. Maybe the leased ground will be deductible. There's a lot of things that now could change some of the cannabis companies into being more profitable. And someone asked me a question. Yeah, not just medical use. I mean, some of them they're not going to reclassify it as recreational. All right, that's up to the states, but they're just going to change the classification so that it's not as it's not in the same category as heroin and LSD. And Carol asked me a question. Do I know if pot growers and distributors can now have bank accounts? I don't know. I banking too. I'm not sure. I'm sure some of them will. I mean, we do have some pot stocks, so they're companies that are invested in cannabis. So obviously they have some bank accounts. Whether the ordinary grower will be able to have one, I'm not sure. I'm sure he could do it on the sly without saying that this is how he makes his money. But that may help them out as well for the guys that want to have bank accounts and just stop lying and say, I grow weed for a living and I profit by selling my crop. Okay, so that could be something else, banking too. I didn't even think of that. Thank you for mentioning that. So that's where we're at. And this is, they have to, the DEA's got to come up with a ruling, all right, from the Justice Department. And then it goes out for public comment for 60 days. And then a judge will have a hearing where he will listen to comments and arguments against changing the classification of it. And of course, there is always that it's a gateway drug. And, everything's a gateway drug, if you ask me, even sugar. But, and they'll listen to him. And then he'll make his decision. I think it doesn't matter which party it is. I think they both want to tax this as for revenue. And I think it's a $34 billion industry. So you can picture the taxes, just say it's 5% on $34 billion. Why would you can either have it or not have it. Why not just include it and tax it? So I'm sure, I don't know whether there's going to be any oversight as to what this entails. I mean, what they're going to use to regulate it. I don't know if there'll be any regulation. I don't know if there'll be self-regulation or the Justice Department will have to regulate it. I'm not sure about any of that at all, but I'm sure they're going to take arguments once the judge goes through the 60 days of commenting. And Malcolm says the implication is that pot is moved out of a cocaine status. That's right. And that the banking system will open up the pot industry instead of doing everything via cash economy. Yes, I agree. Great point, Malcolm. I've seen pot dispensaries walk into the tax office and count out their taxes to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Breast milk is the gateway drug to the wrong mother-child relationship. I don't know where he's going with that one, but it's interesting. Maybe we'll get into that later. But right now, so there's a lot of opportunity here, and I think that the current administration would like to get this done before the the next presidential term. I'm not going to say before the election because I don't think it'll be done before November 6th, but I do think that they have plans to get it done before January, I think it's 27th or 21st, something like that, 21st or 27th, that if there is another party coming into power, they have to vacate the White House and make room for the new party to come in. So I think they want to get it done before then. So we'll see what happens here. So for me, I want to leverage my buying power. So I'm going to be looking for options that expire at January 31st. That's what I'm looking for. All right. Hopefully it's done before then. I don't know that it will be done. I can't promise you, but that's what I'm looking forward to. And whether they drag this on for 2 years or not, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that's what I'm looking for, is for options that expire on the 31st of 2025. All right, that way I can leverage my capital, and I will just use those kinds of options. Now I'm looking at different charts, and let me see what else I got here. All right, so for me, I'm looking at a few different products, and I'm looking at volume, and I'm looking at balance of power. All right, so I like it when I see something with 100% balance of power on the daily. I like it even more when I see it on the weekly too. So if it's on the weekly and the daily, that's something to get excited about. Then if I see it also on the monthly, that's also something to get excited about. So it's on the monthly here. All right, so you can see it's been about 100, this one right here, CGC, since July of 2023 on the monthly. And on the weekly, it's been 100 since about the third week of March, right there. Now we look at it on the daily, it's been about 100 since, we'll just take it right back to here, since the 10th of April. So obviously money's flowing into this product. Another way that I determine that money's flowing in is I take an anchored VWAP and I set one up on the low. All right. And if I see price come underneath it, then I'm looking for price to jump back up over it. So here's a daily chart. This shows me since the low of CGC, price action is staying above the low, all-time low anchored VWAP of this product right here. Then I'll take another one and I'll put it up here on the high. Okay, and you can see price comes down. That represents value. Okay, and then you can see it starts to go up here, and then it breaks out, and then I look for it to return to this area, and that's where I want to buy it, right in here, right in the pocket of these two. Now eventually I'll take one of these and stick it up there on top of that one. Let me see if I can drill down to the hourly chart, because I want to put that one actually up there. And then I'll go back to my daily chart. Okay, so whenever I see money coming in up over, see this recent high anchored VWAP, that's showing me I'm looking for price action to close a candle up there. Okay, so now we closed one candle up there, and notice we closed another candle up there, but it's still attached by this tail right there. That's on CGC. Okay, see the tail still attached. So we have yet to see a free floating candle over the most recent high anchored VWAP. So that's what I'm looking for, is a free-floating candle. Now, if we go back to the SPY for today, all right, so here's this red line. This is the all-time high anchored VWAP right there. Okay, that's the all-time high. Notice on the SPY, we could not close a single day over the all-time high anchored VWAP until Friday. And look what happened Friday. We closed the first day over the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, and then look what happened yesterday. That would be Monday. We have a complete candle closing over the all-time high anchored VWAP. And then we got today another candle closing over the all-time high anchored VWAP. This tells me money's coming into the market. All right, as long as price is stuck underneath here, I just got to believe it's nothing but short covering, put covering. They're getting ready to pick up, to find value. This is where the balance is coming from. And then I'm waiting for them to break out again. Now, here we are breaking out again. And this is kind of the same price action that I'm going to be looking for on CGC, is for price action to start busting out new candles over the anchored VWAP highs. That's what I'm going to be looking for. You take these highs, you put an anchored VWAP on, and that's going to show me money's flowing into that. Okay, so there's CGC. All right, I'm not going to watch. I want my stocks or whatever products I'm going to trade, I'm going to want them to trade at least 1 million shares a day, preferably 2 million. All right, and then I'm looking for balance of power up around 100, over 70, really. I prefer over 70. Right up there at 100 is perfect. I like that. I like it when it's at 100 on the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. That kind of tells me money's getting pumped into this. And you can see right here that money is getting pumped in. Right here from the very first day, here's the anchored VWAP. And you can see we've closed very few days underneath this all-time low or most recent low anchored VWAP right there. So every time it gets underneath here, that's going to represent value to me. All right, and we'll do the same thing with ACB. All right, so here's ACB, got the same thing going on. I got an anchored VWAP. I'll crank it up a little bit so you can see it. You should be able to see that. Okay, so now you see, here's price action. Notice no candles closing underneath except for this one right here. We got one, and it's a doji candle. Okay, so got one candle closing underneath this all-time low or most recent low anchored VWAP here, and we're coming in close. It's getting close right here. Looking for another candle underneath here. If we get that, that might represent value to me, but I'd look for a 2-hour uptrend. So every time price comes back to this anchored recent low VWAP, I'm going to be looking for a 2-hour uptrend. And then inside that 2-hour uptrend, I'm going to be looking for a 10-minute uptrend that goes along with it, so I can watch for when green erases red, and that will be my signal to get in. I'll be looking for a 10-minute candle where green erases red on the 10-minute chart, and that will be my signal to get in. But I need a 2-hour uptrend first, okay? So that's what I'm looking for. So I just constantly wait, and I wait for nice igniting bar there, price coming all the way back. All right, I'm waiting for price to start that 2-hour uptrend. All right, so I'm going to play all these 2-hour uptrends. Every time they come back here, hit this line and start a 2-hour uptrend, that's what I'll be looking for, is those 2-hour uptrends coming off of this anchored low VWAP. Now when it gets up above here, that represents value, so I'll have to put, as you can see, I'll have to put another one up here on that one. Okay, so when it gets up over that line, that will represent an opportunity to sell, is up there. Okay, so buy down here, sell up here over these highs, buy down here in these lows. But remember, I'm looking for that 2-hour uptrend to start out first. And a few questions. Why not buy MSOS or MSOX? You can. This is just two of them that I'm showing you right now. MSOS. I do actually own some calls on MSOS. Okay, MSOS on the daily chart. Okay, we have an uptrend going on right here. All right, and we can put an anchored VWAP right here on this low for September. All right, we can put another one on this low for November. Okay, on the daily chart. And you can put another one on this low. Every time there's a low, you can put one down there. All right, and you're looking for price action to come back to this area, and then you're looking for it to bounce off of this area. And then I could put one on up here at this high. I could change the color to blue. All right, so that tells me, this tells me money's coming in. See, when it's up over the recent high anchored VWAP, money's flowing into this. Now, why didn't the BOP recognize that? But notice now it's starting to catch on. And I could put one up here. And I could color that one blue as well. Okay? It's just different ways to play this that you can think about, is using your anchored VWAPs to let you know where the value is according to the average pricing. Okay, so here's placing an anchored VWAP down here at the low, placing one here at the low, placing one here at the highs. So here's the range that we're looking for until we see price start to close complete candles up over these high anchored VWAPs. Okay, notice right here, again, every candle is still attached to the high anchored VWAP. What we want to see, all right, keep this in mind. What we want to see is whole candles run away from anchored VWAP, making new highs. That's what we're looking for. Okay? That's what we really see. This here's a high anchored VWAP. Whole candles run away from anchored VWAP. This is what we're looking for. This right here, up over the anchored VWAP. Okay, see all these? They're still attached. That was nice, but this is even nicer when you get a series of candles running away from VWAP, where you've got the price action, the 3 EMA, the 8 EMA, and the 17 EMA rising up out of that anchored VWAP, running away into an uptrend. That's what we're looking for to happen. Down here, we're looking for those 2-hour uptrends, those reversal signs right near the anchored low VWAPs, all right? So this is where I'm looking for value. I'm looking for that 2-hour uptrend to commence in these areas down here by the low anchored VWAP lines. And up here, I'm looking for price action to just start running away from the high anchored VWAP up here. Okay, so notice on this, it's kind of messy, all right? I'm going to clear a lot of that off right now. If I can. Can't do it. Let's try this. Well, I just delete them. Okay, so You can see what I'm looking for, and there's ways to play this so you can keep yourself in the game while price goes up. You can see price action comes down, makes a higher low, makes a lower high, makes a higher low, makes a higher high, makes a higher low, makes a higher high, makes a higher low, makes a higher high. Okay, so what are we looking for here? Another higher low and another higher high. Okay, that's what we're looking for. All right, now you can go inside this one, MSOS, and I think somebody already did it. Malcolm, maybe Malcolm did that, not sure. But you can just flip into this right here. You hit this hamburger and it shows you all the components inside this. And a lot of these are five-letter stocks right here. And you can see some of them trade a couple million. Some of them only trade, 20 to 50,000. All right. Me, I prefer stocks that are going to trade 2 million or more and that are well capitalized. Okay. Now remember, this is something different. This is the advisor's share of pure U.S. cannabis ETF. Okay. There's not going to be too many of these pure U.S. cannabis. And the reason there's not going to be too many is because it's really not legal. All right. And no big company is going to want to put their whole company out there as far as liability. All right. Now they may spin off and start one of these other companies. All right, with 5 letters, well undercapitalized kind of company. All right, but you notice this is the pure. All right. So there's not going to be too many because it's not really legal yet. All right. So there's not going to be that right now. But eventually there will be some bigger companies that will step into this space. And we have some other ETFs as well. And I'll share those ETFs. All right. So here's 5 other. You got YOLO. You only live once. Here's one. We'll go back to that one. So this is YOLO. Now notice YOLO only trades about 109,000 units a day. Okay? That's not very busy. Okay? And then inside it, you've got some other stuff. All right? And these are the products that are inside YOLO. You got Clover, Jazz, Cron, RV, all of these, MAPS. Okay, see all of these. Now you got MSOS. That's also inside YOLO. Now isn't MSOS is another ETF, isn't it? So you got an ETF inside an ETF. So why not just play this ETF? Right? You got Tilray, that trades 23 million right there. And CGC trades almost 12 million units a day. Okay? So we could go inside YOLO and you can see here's all the products inside YOLO. That's another one. Advisors Pure Cannabis ETF. I thought that's what MSOS was. Advisors Pure US Cannabis ETF. Okay? So in addition, inside of YOLO, you've got MSOS and all of its components, but all in the form of an ETF, not singly inside here. Okay, so Malcolm just listed a bunch of symbols that are in the cannabis space. Now, I noticed that Scott's Miracle Grow is also in the space. And I've got right here, it's another one. Toke is another one. All right, so here's Toke. If we hit the hamburger, notice Scott's Miracle Grow is the only product inside of the Toke, inside of the cannabis ETF there. Only one product, and that's SMG. All right, and that trades about 750,000 each day. All right, and if we look down here, Toke only trades 6,000 a day, 7,000 a day. Okay, you can see that's where Toke is also in an uptrend. Again, we can take those anchored VWAPs, and again, you can see since the low, we have very few whole candles underneath this this November low for that anchored VWAP. Quite a few stabs up into the sky, but it quickly returns to this area. Eventually, all these sellers will get exhausted from going up and down or taking profits here, and this thing's going to jump up. And I'm not going to say we're going to get this high, but we definitely have the potential to move to the 50-yard line, which would be right here. About $16 right there. At least till there. And it could keep going. It could keep going higher, but we'll see what happens. Now, I do have another slide I want to show you. It's not really a slide. It's more of a layout. Okay, and this is the fundamentals. All right, so this is the fundamentals, and I can share this with you if you want. Let me just go ahead and put it in there. Share layout, copy to clipboard. Just going to put this down there. All right, so here's a fundamentals layout, and it shows, here's ACB. Here's the capitalization, 316 million. Okay. Here's the earnings. All right. So sales for 1 year is 267 million. These are interesting numbers. Now, I don't know if they're all right. Okay. I don't know how correct they are. Okay. But this is what they're reporting. So sales for 1 year, 267 million. Right there. Okay. So price to sales ratio, all right, is 0.98. Okay, revenue growth rate, okay, is 26%. That's pretty good. Okay, earnings for 1 year, okay, they don't make much money. They lose money. They lost money the last year. See that? Minus 143 million. So they lost all of that plus another 143. Okay, so they need to legalize this quick, because I don't know how many 143s this capitalization can take, how many more years of staying open. If you're losing all of your sales and 143 million more on top of that, okay? Price to earnings ratio is a -1. Book to sales. Now this is interesting. Okay, here's the price is $6.64 per share, and they're saying that according to their holdings and everything of value within that company, all right, this is what they're saying, not me. The current book value is, if they liquidated everything like the Wolf of Wall Street came in and bought it and decided to liquidate everything because it was worth more by shutting it down and selling off all of the components and all of everything inside it, okay? They're saying it's worth $10.85. If the Wolf of Wall Street bought up all of these shares and shut it down, he could liquidate everything for $10.85. That's pretty good. That would make that a pretty good target. You know what I'm saying? That's current book value per share. Okay, so you can see it's well under book value. Now you notice here is CGC is priced over book value. They're saying if we sold everything off there's only $6.57 of material or whatever assets that would be left. If they liquidated everything, that's all there is. $6.57 of assets there. And notice they're priced up over that. Let's go see how much they lose. All right, so currently their capitalization is, well, it's 805 million, and they do 330 million in sales. And get this, in 1 year they lost all of their sales plus $1.33 billion. That's not a very good model for business. All right, I don't know, but I don't think that's very good unless they're including this. So unless they're including that, maybe these guys are including this too. I don't know. Okay, but they lost $1 billion in 1 year. All right, and their price to earnings ratio is they're losing 31 cents per share, whereas ACB is losing $1 per share. So this one seems to be a little bit better. They're only losing 31 cents per share, whereas ACB has got a whole lot more to make up. But look at ACB. If the Wolf of Wall Street decides to go after them, they could be a target right there. Okay, the next one is Kronos. All right, and they're losing, oh my gosh, they're losing $11. Am I right? $11 a share. All right, and they're priced at only $2.65. Okay, and then here's MJ. That's another alternative harvest ETF. And we have no stats for MJ. I guess they don't report a P&L right there. But this is interesting. So I decided I'd share that. Now this actually slides over. And you can see current book value per share. Right there. That's ACB. Okay. And you can look at all of these stats. Earnings percent change second quarter. That's pretty good. They grew. So the earnings changed up almost 100%. Earnings on the third quarter up 100%. Fourth quarter 100%. Up 100%. So they're growing. They could outgrow this losing streak. And if they could just get legalized, they could be able to write off some more, and they would probably be in the black instead of the red pretty soon just looking at this, if they're growing at this rate. So how do I know if this is not like Bitcoin ETFs? I mean, rumor versus news. It was like this in Canada. I couldn't tell you, William. I wish I could. I couldn't tell you. I don't, again, people report whatever they want to report. Remember Enron? You know, Enron reported what they wanted to report, and then it caught up with them. I know it's not the answer you're looking for. I wish I knew. All I know is it's publicized. The Biden administration has made a formal announcement. The DEA is going to take it under advisement, and they're set to do this. And I would think this is possibly be the president's last year. We'll see. And then I would think he would want to take care of this before the end of the year. Hopefully by at least by the lame duck session. until the new house and the new class comes in for 2025. How do you get the fundamentals on the TCF? I shared it, Carol. I shared it up here, Carol. Right here, okay? Just come on up here. And I shared this right here. Okay, so you can put products in there. And you'll get it. It's a layout. All right, so you can just click that. I can just show you how to do it. You click it, and it says this guy shared a layout with me. All right, and I'll say, yeah, get that layout. I want that. Okay, so now it's imported successfully. Okay, so then I take this, I move it out of the way. All right, and then I bring this up here. All right, you see this thing blinking? It says somebody shared something with me. It was blinking until I rolled my cursor over it. And then I open it up and say, view item shared with me. And here's a layout shared by West Coast Trade. All right, and then you can say, just press on that layout. All right, and it opens it right up. Okay, that's all you got to do. It's pretty easy. Now you notice there's nothing shared. Okay, does that help you, Carol? Yeah, it's just like importing it. I think you have to have either silver or gold to do the importing. But you can get all of this stuff on fundamentals right here. And you can add another symbol. Like let's say you want to add, I don't know, let's say you want to add SMG. All right, so now SMG is in there. All right. It's not really a cannabis stock, but it sure helps cannabis grow because it's got Miracle Grow in there and fertilizer. So it's also associated with the cannabis industry. That's funny, Ed. So Jeff Sessions says it's not going to happen. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, they're gonna review it. I mean, they're not saying it's a legal substance, but they're saying that they're going to reclassify it. I mean, you got all these people in jail for selling weed now. Selling it to minors, I really disagree with that. I think whatever happens inside someone's house, as long as they don't hurt people outside of their house or in the house, they're taking care of their kids, they're being responsible. That's one thing. But when you get people that drink alcohol that become very irresponsible with their children and elderly people and other such things. So we'll see what happens. So I'm here to take questions tonight. All right. I'm interested in dialogue, and I'm interested in any questions you might have as far as strategy or alternative strategy. I'm interested in hearing those as well. But I just thought I'd share with you some of the ideas that I have regarding trading this toward the end of the year We are in an uptrend, as you can see us making on the daily chart, higher lows and higher highs. Is just now breaking out. I don't have any of the moving averages on there, but I do have the anchored VWAPs, and I think these anchored VWAPs could help a few traders knowing where the value is and what to look for if you saw a 2-hour uptrend, bouncing off of one of these anchored low VWAPs down here. And you might have to keep moving those anchored low VWAPs up to the next anchored low. So you can see we got one here, so maybe we should probably consider moving that one up to there. All right, now you notice right here we've got a high, and the high has come down underneath. They're actually one. This low and this high have merged into one spot right there. But if we move that back here, let's move it all the way back here. You can see it's just skipping over that. So this really doesn't excite me that much, but CGC, that one does. We can go back to the fundamentals just for a second. And which is the one that was only losing 31 cents. Okay, this one was only losing 31 cents per share. So that has the potential to be profitable long before, this guy's losing $11 per share. This one's losing $9 a share. This one's losing $1 per share. This one has the potential to be profitable sooner than later. And you notice the growth rate. Let's just see what the growth rate is. Okay, not growing quite as fast as ACB. As you can see, we got 98.66, 30, a minus 15. So not growing as fast as this one. Now this one is growing by leaps and bounds. See that? See those increases? Earnings percent change. They're increasing, how they're increasing quarter after quarter after quarter over the last year. Whereas CGC, is increasing, but not at the clip that ACB is. So ACB keeps going like this, they could find themselves in a more profitable spot as well. So both of these two are looking good. As far as price to earnings ratio, I like the fact that this one is really growing by leaps and bounds. And I like the fact that this one is only 31 cents away from being in the black. All right, so that's just my take on things, so you can see what we got going on. So, any questions for tonight? I think I got one other page I can show you. And if I think I can find it. All right, here's one. This is another one that you can use. All right, this one this one takes the indexes and breaks them down into sectors. So this is sectors. So you would go into, for me, I was looking inside of, what was I looking at? I think healthcare. So I hit healthcare. And then the industry inside of healthcare, I was looking at drug manufacturers special. Okay, then I move this up. And then I move this up a little bit more because I don't need all of that. And you can see I listed them alphabetically. I did not list them by performance. So you can see here in 2016, ACB performed with 310% right there. Okay, 310% for ACB in 2016. Then it had a few off years, 30, 34% down, 54% down, 67% down, 34% down. And now they're having a good year this year. That's ACB. And we can scroll down to CGC right here. Okay, so they had a good year in 2017 and 2017, 2016 right here. I can share this with you as well, and you can look at some of the derivatives inside of MSOS and inside of those ETFs, and you can see the industries or the best in class, okay, year to date. So you can have year-to-date best in class. Sega's doing very well right here, up 84%. CGC's doing well, up 84%. Let's see where if ACB is doing well, up 39%. So CGC is doing almost twice as good as ACB. Again, they're more profitable in the fact that they only lose 31 cents per share, not like ACB, who loses $1 per share. Okay, so any questions for tonight? So I'm just saying there's some opportunity to catch a double bagger, a triple bagger coming up. Just got to be ready for it. You got to be willing to do the homework. I'll link to the chart. Yes, absolutely. Let's see if I can get that for you. Where did it go? Hold on. I'll get it. I got some right here. Okay, it's not a chart. It's a layout. All right. I'm going to share this layout with you. Okay. Right down here. Okay, it's not a chart, it's a layout. All right, where do I use volume zone? No. Only to find out if it's doing 2 million or more. That's about it. That's the only reason I want volume zone. I don't really use volume. I've never taken a trade off of volume. My favorite, William, is anchored VWAP and VWAP. That's volume weighted average price. Those are my favorites. I do use a VZO, a volume zone indicator, oscillator actually. Okay, on my other chart down here, I'd use a volume zone oscillator on this. Okay, but I don't really use it that much, only to get me out of a trade. That's it, the volume zone oscillator, only to get me out of a trade. Silas says VFF, not sure. Silas says like VXX from 0.5 to 1.62. Not sure what he's talking about, but I'll take a look. This is what I got for VXX. It's the VIX. And what you mean by 0.5, not sure. VFF. All right, VFF is Village Farms. Okay, and are they a cannabis grower, Silas? Well, anyways, they're in a downtrend, okay, right now, on the hourly. On the daily, they're pulling back. On the hourly, they're in a 2-hour downtrend, Okay, see that? That's a 2-hour downtrend. All right. So they jump from right here, 0.5 up to 0.12. Okay, so what I like to do, take an anchored VWAP, put that down there. All right. Every time it dips below there, you got to look for that 2-hour trend to change. All right, that would be my clue. Wait for that 2-hour trend to get going in the other direction, and that's when I would like it. Right now, 2-hour downtrend is not looking good. I'm going to wait till it ends. Wait till it changes direction, makes that higher low, and then there is where I would find an entry on that one. Okay, on the daily chart, pop up here from March, just kind of consolidated sideways, and then we got ourselves a double top right there. Okay, so because we got a double top, Silas, I would wait for the 2-hour downtrend to change. Global, I'm not sure if it's global. I don't know about an advantage for Canadians. But that has a double top. Doesn't mean that that's it. It could make a triple top. But I would want to see a trend change and a higher low, okay, on this VFF. And the volume, I don't know what kind of volume it gets. Volume's just over 1 million. See, I prefer over 2 million so I can play the options. And the reason I like the options because I can leverage my money. All right, that's it. That's just my preference. It doesn't mean that you can't trade this. I'm just sharing with you my preference. All right, because when I trade, let's say when I trade SPY, and I can get 10 contracts, I can take control of, $100,000 worth of SPY for like less than, $500. Okay, that's why I like options. So for me, I prefer something that trades 2 million or more. Doesn't mean you can't trade this. That's my preference. I want to be able to leverage my money with options, and for that I want something that trades often enough and has multiple expiration dates. I don't want to be tied into something that only expires once a month. Okay, that's just me. All right, doesn't mean you have to do what I do. That's the way I like to trade. Because I get to move faster. I get to move. It's easier for me to grow my account when I'm using leverage. It's a two-edged sword. Okay, leverage can burn you as fast as it can help your account grow. And I'm living proof of that. Okay, so again, you have to watch for the trend change and get out, or either reverse it, one or the other. All right, any other questions for tonight? Did you all get anything out of tonight's presentation? Let me know. I mean, did you get something? Did you find it interesting? Yes, I was. I did a lot of spreads. Usually, I try to find the high of the day. It was great. Oh, awesome! Thank you. Malcolm hates pot. I was able to. Where's my? This is what I traded today. I don't know if it's still up. Here it is. Yeah, what I traded today. Here it is. I'll find it. So these are all the ones I traded today. I traded the 509 call, the 518 put, the 517 put, the 518 call, a little bit of Mullen, 504. A lot of it was just spreads. Most of it. Again, I was looking for that 10-minute uptrend, and we didn't get much of it going. It didn't go far at all. But that's what I traded today. Mostly spreads. And of course I like to trade the SPY. So you guys know I'm a 10-minute trader. You can see it was a green erases red entry, and we just kept going up there. So wasn't much to do today. See how I just chopped to the side? Spreads seem to be the way to go. And if you used this, today, not this one, it's the other one. Let me find my other chart. Here it is. Okay, so here's price action for today. You can see the price percent oscillator was up over the yellow line here, but the VZO stopped going over the yellow line right there, right at 10:15. And it never got going again until the end of the day. And then the PPO, price percent, was red. So there was no trade. There's nothing but chop all day. And you can see here's the MACD was green right up until there. And then it just faded for the rest of the day. The BOP, so it was just telling me it was nothing but a chop day right there. The PPO was good all the way up until, well, PPO was good all the way up until 145 right there. But on the VZO, we were underneath the yellow line. It was like nothing but chop right through there. So we never got going. So it's just telling me, so I just did a lot of spreads. On that. No, the green has to wipe out the red. All right, so like, let me just flip to another chart, okay, Carol, so I can help you. All right, here's SPY 10-minute. Okay, so here's the red. I don't know if you were in the room, but I drew an arrow. Okay, so here's the red. Pull back right there. Here's the green candle. This would be the top of the red right there. Okay, so here's the candle that you could buy in on. Right as it takes out the red. Now, as this one candle takes out the red, you could get into that. But you notice, where did we go? We didn't even go anywhere. All right? So there was the trade, and there was the trade. Other than that, there was no trade. It just chopped all day. Then we came back down to the anchored VWAP right there. At this point, when I saw them break the bottom of this candle, and start depressing right through or pressing through VWAP, kind of had a clue it's coming down to fill the gap right there. So the bears filled the gap. So the bears got a little bit of power. They got a little win. The bulls got a little win. Bulls got a win because they got a higher high. Bears got a little win because they brought it back to gap fill. Okay, so we're just probably going to chop around right in between these two right here. So between here, 516.39, and up here, 518.63. Good chance we just chop around there tomorrow. All right, because the bulls got a little win and the bears got a little win. Probably going to be more chop tomorrow, Carol. More than likely. We don't have any economic data coming out. Okay, so if we're looking here, earnings calendar, not much is going on. Disney reported this morning on Wednesday. Toyota Motor, Uber, nothing really market moving. There's some notable names, but nothing market moving. See that? So nothing's happening there. And then we go over to the economic calendar, and you can see nothing's happening Wednesday. A couple of Fed speakers, wholesale inventories, and that's it. And then Thursday, nothing happening. Treasury's going to make a statement at 2 p.m. That may be the highlight at 2 p.m. on Friday. But by then, the week's over. All right? So that's it. So there's nothing to stop the bulls other than the dollar. All right? And if the dollar gets bullish, that could stop the bulls. You can see here's price action for the dollar moving back up off of the 50. This is about the only thing that can stop the bulls is the dollar. Because we don't have any earnings and we don't have any economic data. So it's all up to the dollar to stop the bulls. And this may give them a pause. I really see a daily MMRP on the SPY. Okay. You got 1, 2, 3 candles up. That looks like a pause. Maybe two more, maybe another 2 more pause candles or a pullback to support, which would be this all-time high anchored VWAP. Maybe pull back to there. And then we rip with 3 price advancement candles up. So you got 1, 2, 3. This is a 3-day pattern. 1, 2, 3, looking for 3 days pause, maybe 3 days pullback, check support, or some type of 2-hour uptrend to materialize after those 3 days pause. Right there. So we could get an MMRP. Notice we broke through resistance, come back, check it as support. If it holds as support, we could get 3 days up. Or 9 days up, okay, because we got a 3-day pattern. We could get 9 days up. Might not be big days, but we could look for 9 days up. All right, so we got that MMRP. See the reversal, price coming down, and then it just rips right up over through resistance. All right, so that could be a 3-day MMRP right there. We'll watch and see if it works. Yeah, 520 is the whole number. It got close there today. What's the high? 518.57. Again, we could look at 2 or 3 more pause candles. Maybe one or two more pause candles and a pullback, and then see if they find support here. They have to find support. Without the support, we're not going to get the price advancement candles. It's just going to free fall. Yeah, just 3 days. You know what? It may come out as 5. Because of the gaps, but I'm going to count it as 3 and see where it plays out. Now this one was a 4-hour chart, and it happened to be 2 4 hours. So we went up here. So this one was the 4 hour bearish MMRP. Okay, price was going up that morning. Price, see how price gapped up? We were here and we gapped up there. So here's the bearish MMRP. So here's the first down move. That's 2 4 hour candles. So it rips, it breaks through support right here. Okay. And then we got 2 stalling candles right there. Okay, so we got 2 more. There's price stalling, checking resistance. And then we get another 2, price advancement, price advancement, price advancement. So an igniting move to the downside, a pause, check right there for support, for resistance. It works, and you get 3 price advancement candles to the downside. See right there, igniting, pause, check the resistance, and you get 1 2 3 candles to the downside. There's not 3 candles, it's actually 6. Okay, but you notice each one of these moves has a lower high and a lower low. A lower high and a lower low. And a lower high and a lower low. So we're looking for the same thing to happen here. We'll see what happens. Well, I guess they found resistance. They didn't pull back and test this resistance, but sometimes, and that's a great point, Malcolm, they may find resistance from over here. All right? Over here, they may find the resistance. And the same thing goes for when the bulls do it. They gap up. See how they igniting move up? And then they pull back. And notice they never come back and test this support. They found support from over on the left side, up here. You'll see that happen often. So they don't have to pull back and check this. They may find support right here. Okay, as we would like them to test this, but they may find support right here at the bottom of these. See these tail candles where buyers stepped in before? They may find it right there. Either the second or the third. Sometimes there's a pause and a check of support. All right, if it's the bullish, if it's the bearish, is a pause, the pause and the check of resistance. All right, could be the same candle sometimes. Yes, I agree. I think we get more balance tomorrow as well. Yeah, I can almost see it that we got nothing but chop tomorrow as well. Only because there's no earnings and there's no economic data, and price has already shown us that the bulls want a little piece, had a little win yesterday, and the bears had a little win today. Excuse me. Bulls had a little win today, and the bears had a win, bulls had a win. Right, nothing to incentivize momentum. That's right. So it may just drift. It may drift back. It may even come all the way back to the all-time high anchored VWAP. And then, of course, then the bulls may step in. There's obviously money coming into the market because we are up over all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, so we'll see what happens. They came in here and they pushed it up this far. Now this is a downtrend right there. Notice we did hit that downtrend line. It was either going to be this one or this one way out here. They went for that one. They didn't quite hit it. They came close to it. All right, but they did find that 518.63 as resistance. And I guess I had that on there from another time. And then they started to fade back. Yeah, market always moves when we're not expecting much. That's true. That's why I had this thing today, is because we're not gonna know when institutions are ready to start investing in the cannabis stocks. So I want to be ready. So in order to get ready, I want those anchored VWAPs on there, and I want want to be looking with your eagle eyes for those 2-hour uptrends. And then you really know money's coming into the market when you see price action start to rise up over the most recent high anchored VWAP, and then you see price action running away from that anchored high, recent high anchored VWAP. That's when you know real big money's flowing in. All right, traders, that's it for me for tonight. I hope you all had a good time. I look forward to seeing you. Again, I make a video every morning. I post it on my YouTube, and I post it in my Facebook. So I encourage you to join. Again, they're up here if you want to find them. All right, they're right up here at the beginning of the chat. If you scroll all the way back up to the beginning of the chat, here's my Facebook group, and then here's my YouTube right there. You got to scroll all the way up to the beginning. All right, everybody have a beautiful evening. Thank you for being here. I appreciate y'all showing up. Y'all know how to trade this. You have an idea of somebody's strategy anyways. All right, so you can see what I'll be looking for. And I hope it works for you. Again, my email is always open, even to non-members. I am here for you. Feel free to email me. I like helping traders succeed. All right, everyone have a wonderful evening. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Fred, Catalina, Centauri, Ed, Silas, Bob T, Malcolm. Always a pleasure to have you around. Stefan, Trader X, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you all for being here tonight and participating in the dialogue. Okay, that's what makes us better, is the dialogue. All right, let's talk about it. Let's make everybody better by talking about how we can all get better at trading. Hey, Don, thanks. And Raj, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. All right, traders, have a good night.